It's time for the Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
You decide when you lose, not other people.
And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and, of course, the subscribe button. And join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and soon to be Side Scrollers.locals.com. Having some issues over there, but we'll figure it out. What's going on, everybody? Hi. I'm Stuttering Craig. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to you. I actually had to look down and find it. It's the 28th day of February, which is weird because this year we have 29. Blabs, how are you?
Good. You know what? I don't remember the last time we had 29, except 4 years ago.
It's a leap year thing. That's right, Blabs. You're on fire today already. On fire today, man. I'll tell you what.
Got the big tisms.
Yeah, we'll get there. We're working through this. Every day's a process, Blabs. I love it. We'll figure out what's going on with locals over there. I had some issues with it today, but we'll if we can't make it, if we can't get the show up over there, we'll definitely post it as a VOD later on. But either way, appreciate you guys popping up. With that said, man, we're gonna have a great one today. We have a phenomenal guest today. First timer. Chat's gonna be going nuts. Mr. Eric July.
What's up, man? I'm glad we could finally make this happen, man. I'm stoked to be here.
Man, I'm glad you're here, man. It's going to be a good one. We got so much to talk about. And you, right off the bat, man, you got a lot to talk about. You got a big announcement this morning.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Where do I start? We've talked about this, people that watch my stream. We've discussed and floated out this idea, more the audience had. And, we talked about it for a year and some change to see if this was something that we was going to do. We were going to do it. And then we said, you know what, this is a great time for us to do it. It makes sense. This is a place that that a lot of creators are going to be able to kind of go to get some help on fulfilling their items, publishing their books, all that good stuff. So yeah, we announced RippaSend, which will be our hosting, fulfillment, as well as our publishing service that is going to be our kind of creator owned wing under our publishing wing and RippaVerse Publishing. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited to build this network. We already have a couple of clients. We had actually that before we ever announced this. So we'll have some announcements with that later. But yeah, this is exciting to see a lot of enthusiastic people over this project. Man, this is going to be huge for us. And I'm just glad that, we were able to make this happen. And this is going to be kind of our way to help again our fellow creatives.
It's a big step, man. Big step. It's just one of those. You look at everything that's going on in your space. You go from launching your own product, and then you say, well, what's going on? I need to take a step to the left or to the right, and you're still obviously in the same space, but you're obviously people are really excited. Bruce comes in and says, RippaSend is the future of successful indie comics and projects. And that's a big fucking statement.
It is. Shout out Bruce, man. Appreciate you. It's what we looked at. Again, we analyze markets. I'm a businessman at the end of the day. So I analyze markets. If this didn't make sense for us, and it wasn't going to make sense for some other people, then we wouldn't have done this. But after just looking into this more, discussing it more internally, it made a lot of sense. It's a service that, again, benefits a lot of people in our space, to your point, that what you were speaking about. And as well, it's something that kind of catches up with the times. Because, yeah, there's publishers, there's all that good stuff that's out there. There's plenty of people that are out there that are publishing other people's work. But when you look at kind of the archaic old model, like we focus more so with RippaSend, we're going to focus more on direct to customer. We're trying to build solutions around that. And really the comic book industry hasn't even caught up to that really at all, because they're still largely using like this direct market setup as their kind of mainstay. So, this is something that there's a lot of people that are out there doing like crowdfunds, and they're absolutely killing it. And this is a way for us to kind of assist those people that just want to have a direct relationship with their customers, build unique experiences for their customers. And we're just offering our infrastructure to assist them in doing that.
I think that's one of the things you see with these crowdfunding campaigns all the time is you see the people don't equate for the hidden cost associated with it, right? And so oftentimes you see, whether it's comics, whether it's gaming, whether it's whatever, you see these campaigns just go up in smoke, and you say, oh, they did a campaign for $800,000. How are they not wealthy? And it's like, well, because they spent $800,000 on, or they spent $1 million on fulfilling the product,
Yep.
So
yeah, and I don't fault anybody for not knowing that aspect of it, because not everybody has been involved in business, and most creative people aren't. I mean, I say this with the music industry that I'm in as well. It's the same thing. It's very similar, where you have a lot of very creative people, very talented people, but the hiccup is kind of some of the business stuff. And to be able to, again, help people and manage those sorts of issues so they can be profitable in their ventures when they are seeing a level of success. It's just this is something that will be fulfilling for myself as well. But it's just something that I think that this part of the industry needs and is going to be able to utilize.
Well, congratulations on it, man. RippaSend, it's live. The product is live now, right?
Right now, you can go to RippaSend.com. You can contact us if you are one of those that, your potential client, you think there's something that's going to interest you. You can go ahead and start contacting us. And we're going to start having those conversations.
It's wicked, man. Congratulations. That's great.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, I want to remind you guys, we are live over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Join us over there. Hit the follow button. We love that. If you guys would do that, all the freedoms lovers over there. It's great. Nearly 6,000 followers over there. We also have an X account, don't we, Blabs? Yes, we do. Right?
Okay.
I'm throwing it off today. We have an X account where you can find out who's going to be. You could have found out that Eric was going to be on the show today if you just hit the follow button over there. It would have been great. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do. So follow us over there for some memes and clips from the show, or else violence.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a Kick account at kick.com/sidescrollers, casting the net as wide as we possibly can. We're going to talk Kick a little bit after a little bit later on. But the place I want to point you today is sidescrollers.locals.com. Our newly launched locals page is going to be kind of our home base. We're going to have some exclusive stuff over there. If just 10 of you would head over there and create an account, a free account, and just go watch the free videos we have up for you guys over there. You can watch the interview with WWE or WWF Tough Enough winner Maven. That's live. That'll be up on YouTube next weekend. We're still got like 10 days before that comes out, so you guys can watch that over there, as well as Blabs playing or reacting to the 90s cartoon themes, which is really, really fun to do as well. So head over there. Once again, it's sidescrollers.locals.com. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. You can hit the subscribe button over here on YouTube and join the 67,300 subscribers who love common sense in the video game and entertainment space. And do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Our goal is always 500, and our membership goal is always 25. Let's see if we can hit those goals today with Eric on the show. Tomorrow, we'll be joined by Drunk 3PO, which should be really... Haven't had Jay on in a long time, and I'm looking forward to having Jay on. It'll be really great. Now, Jay does appear on the show occasionally. We can go to Jay. Where is Jay? Where is he? Where is Jay? I'm looking for him. I can't find him. Did you remove him from our back end, Blabs?
No. Where did you put him?
No, there he is. There's Jay. He's just hanging out in the background, always just staring, looking for what's going on. Jay, we'll see him more tomorrow, which will be great. But yes, all right. So we got a lot going on today. We're going to talk. We're starting the show off hot today, man. We got a lot to talk about. But first, I want to know. First, Winterfell came in with the 199. Says, "Don't we, Blabs? Don't we?"
I don't understand. He says that every day. I don't get it. Did I miss something?
Well, that's your job. It's part of the routine, Blabs.
What is? Don't we
saying,
what?
Don't we, Blabs? We have an Instagram account. Don't we, Blabs?
Ah, wow. He says that in the comments after the stream. I'm like, what?
Now you get it. It connected it. The Instagram
so
account.
Stupid today.
Matthew says RippaSend is gonna be a game changer.
Oh, appreciate you. Thank you. We'll see.
All right. And CKN says, what's favorite part of Yarrow 1?
Well, it's not out quite yet, so we'll have those conversations after it's out.
Worthy One says, "Hey Eric, from one based black comic nerd to another, thank you. Your comics have been a breath of fresh air. Keep giving Marvel and DC out of touch writers them hands, bro."
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, it's fun because we were at MegaCon. I had a chance to kind of witness the chaos and everything associated with that, man. And I'll tell you what, man, you don't realize it till you're there. You see, I think a lot of people, in your instance, in my instance, and Jeremy's instance, and just the creator space instance, you see numbers, but you can never truly understand the numbers till you see those people sitting in front of you, listening and wanting to, we have 600 folks watching. We'll get up to 1,200 or so today, which will be great, and we love that, right? But to put that in perspective, like 1,200 people. 600 people, 100 people. That's a big ass ballroom with a lot of people who are interested, and it's really humbling, man. It's really, really good. So.
Every time, man. That was even more humbling than some of the others that we've done before, because to have still some standing room that because all the seats were filled in that big panel that with myself and obviously Gary and Ryan and Jeremy and Critical Drinker. Like, it just puts a lot of things into perspective. Us having lines at Rippaverse at the booth the entire time of the con over those 4 days, that was just unreal, man. And it just really puts things into perspective of just how much this stuff resonates with people out there. And it's very motivating, man. I know our entire team came out of that thing like, man, we want to start working even harder and start grinding, because this is stuff that that people want and resonates with them. And this is your opportunity to, it's one thing to, people fire off a comment or a super chat, which is awesome. It's much appreciated. But to be able to, sit face to face or stand face to face with someone that you either impacted in a positive way, they're a fan of you, that's a different experience. That's a completely different experience. And it's humbling, to your point.
You're muted, Craig.
Oh, fuck me. As I'm over here trying to clear my throat and mute myself and be all nice. And anyways, no, but like as you grow and as you see success, you see haters come out of the woodwork. And like the one thing you see about when you go to these events is those guys are never there. They're never there. It's all love, 100%. Like it's just little trolls on the internet, They're
limited to their space. And again, going to events like that just shows that, look, this going to events like that, this is far more real. This is what it's about. And yeah, we're there 4 days. It's all love. That same thing can be said when we've done Fan Expo. We've done some of these other events. And it's just all love the entire time. It's just nothing but love. And it just that's part of the perspective that I think a lot of us get when we go to these, because there's going to be those that very loud minority that may be on the internet that may feel some kind of way about you negatively, but there's far more people out there that really love and adore and respect what it is that you do. And again, to be able to look them in the face and just chat with them is just an awesome experience.
Foulmouth says, Eric, is RippaSend limited to books, or would you work with trading card games too? RippaSend is exactly what I'll need.
We'll work. It depends on what it is that you need, obviously. But as far as like, getting that stuff out, publishing, helping you get those printed. We have done cards before. You guys remember getting our cards. So as well. But if you're talking about like tabletop stuff, we can help you really with whatever it is you want to do. Obviously, comics is a big part of it, but fulfillment is, everybody needs it. Like it's not anything that's specifically unique to comics. So there's something that we can offer there for sure.
Trevor came in and says, Rip is another Sean Bolin. Trevor, here's the big difference. And you don't know who Sean Bolin is. And there's probably a good reason for that, Eric. The big difference is that Eric is a success and has seen success on his own merits. Sean's never done that. He's an old business partner I had. Sorry, Trevor, to break the bad news to you. All right, let's get into this thing. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News.
Hard News.
All right, Rippa. So here's the thing, man. earlier this week, there was a breaking news coming out of the fast food world. The invention of the Chizza. Did you hear about the Chizza?
I did hear about that. Yes, I did.
All right. What do you, real quick, Blabs has gone on record and saying the Chizza is a monstrosity.
It's
all right.
disgusting.
Even I don't understand it. To me, it's just chicken parm with some pepperonis thrown on it. Do you have stance on the Chizza?
I can't see myself being into it. I did see it. I don't know if it's the presentation. I don't know what it is, but I can't see myself getting down with that. Like, that's not anything that I would seek out. We get to all these mashups, and sometimes you're like, oh, that could be intriguing. But this one, I can't really see it. I can't see it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rob Zilla, great community member, went out and he went out, had a Chizza. I have yet to experience the Chizza. Maybe I will today. I don't know. Maybe I will. But this is his picture of the Chizza.
That's disgusting.
It does look pretty gross. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't.
I wish I could tell you it did look good, but on the surface it sounded fine. But I maybe I need to go experience it for myself. Whatever, it is what it is. So, okay, so Eric, you're in the non-Chizza camp.
Yeah, that's not a fan. Can't say I'm a fan of that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I'll tell you what. We're gonna stick with fast food for another just a quick hit here, as this was the big rumor over the last few hours that Wendy's apparently was going to introduce Uber style surge pricing during their busy hours. Have you heard of this, Eric?
No, this is news to me.
Right. So they went out and they announced the possibility. Their CEO was like, "Hey, we're gonna during our busy times, we could have a Dave's single quarter pounder go up nearly $1 during our peak times to and he says, well, like the digital age has allowed us the opportunity to update our menus and stuff in real time. And we now have these opportunities. So we got these new digital menu boards, which will be updating in real time. And obviously people have not taken to that very well, as the memes have been thrown out with, the Uber pricing, Uber getting here, the Baconator being $101 or whatever. This has not gone over, as I said, very well, to the point to where today, just a short time ago, right before we went live, Wendy's has announced that after the blowback, they will not be implementing surge pricing. So literally just a few hours in,
didn't take long.
The internet has spoken for sure.
That's I mean, I guess I respect at least that much. You recognize this was something that wasn't going to go over really well with your customers, and you pivoted. I mean, we've seen historically people double down. So to see them be like, and look, I don't know if that was actually ever really, really, truly part of their plans, but for them to be like, nah, we're just not into that. I guess props to them for that. But yeah, I could have told them that was never going to go. You can always say, okay, it'll be less, right? Something will be less, and that's going to always go over. But when you're talking about upcharging people for like something in comparison to what it is that you were providing before or the pricing before, that's generally not gonna go well.
The irony that you said they were doubling down. I don't know if you remember the KFC double down. Do you remember this? Where they had two this was their sandwich?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That is disgusting.
See, but I could get down with that more than the pizza shit.
Yeah.
Me personally. Like because it's a reverse sandwich.
What is in this? It's just like chicken and like cheese in that sandwich.
In this sandwich, it looks like there's some chicken, cheese, bacon, and barbecue sauce.
Okay, that's fine, because that's just like a sandwich, just extra large sandwich.
I could get down with that one. That's something that I could get down with that. Now, I personally, just with my diet, I wouldn't eat it a whole lot, but I could see that going over way better than the Chizza or whatever it was.
Yeah, we'll see. A Shaker came into the 199, says buy Chizza for the entire panel. Craig, also looking forward to Yara. Am I saying it right? Yaira 1.
Mm-hmm.
The long box needs to get filled. Thanks, Shaker.
Oh yeah. Well, we got you, and we'll be producing more of those boxes very soon as well.
Chris B came in with the 5, says, hail all, have you been seeing the recent chatter from games / anime localizers crying about AI replacing them? And if so, what are your thoughts on those clowns?
We've talked about that extensively.
We talked about it at quite a length. But Eric, what are your thoughts on?
Look, go ahead. Anytime you talk AI, it's always going to be divisive. There's no way around that. It's a hot topic right now. But I don't see, and this may be just my experience, but I don't see a whole lot of people that are fond of. Definitely in recent years, this whole localizing aspect, things are getting censored, watered down. So, but I don't know if companies are even going to go for that. You know what I mean? Like, who's to say that they wouldn't train AI to do the same damn thing anyway? So as far as I don't know if it's a solution, I guess is what it is I'm saying. Because I could see where a company, for the sake of cutting costs, it could say, yeah, we'll just have AI do it. But I mean, who's going to stop them from programming it to essentially do the same thing to make this for a more modern Western audience?
Well, we've seen that with Gemini the last few days as well.
Yeah.
Which is like, my God, crazy. So there you go, Chris. RL Dog says, did you see Virgil passed away?
I did see that this morning. I did see that. That is so it sucks. I didn't see what it was from, but he was 61. Yeah, I saw that.
61 years old, man. I'll tell you what, that's a dude who it seems like he was always in the right place at the right time, man. Like, he was never a star, but he always associated himself with the right people, whether it was the $1 Million Man or the NWO.
Yep.
Right, man. It's tough. You wonder what happened with Virgil. I mean, these guys. You a big wrestling fan?
Oh yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So look, were you? When did you get into wrestling?
Well, I got in, and that was the mid '90s when I first got introduced to that. So yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Right before the Attitude Era really popped off.
And yeah, NWO Attitude Era, you know, that whole you know, late 90s, early 2000s, right? Yeah, Virgil was kind of, you know, those, I'll tell you, these guys, and it's talked about a lot, but those guys, they beat the shit out of their bodies, not just from falling on their back, but from all the shit they put in their body, man. It's whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's performance enhancing stuff, like, man. And to see these guys who pass it on. I mean, 61 is not old. You know, that is
not at all.
It's very young. It's tough to see, man. All these dudes that you watched. I'll tell you, I'm kind of at that age where you're starting to see these people you grew up watching, and now they're starting to die off a little bit. And you're like, oh man, and it's a really puts no,
it's not a good feeling, man. But yeah. Those guys put all sorts of shit, so I have no idea what it was that got them. But yeah, man, between the athletic stuff that they have to pull off, and definitely of that era when you're talking about, especially the 80s, man, like, these guys were on everything, man. The alcohol, the drugs, as well as, of course, the performance enhancing stuff. So, you know, that stuff takes years off of your life, and it's a wonder that Flair is still like kicking now. I know he had a close call not too long ago, but it's a wonder that he's still getting around, man.
If there's one dude that should probably be dead, it should probably be Ric Flair.
Yeah,
right?
Somehow he's still kicking, man. Still kicking.
What a charmed fucking life that guy has lived. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. Like, being able to, he wakes up in the morning, he just starts drinking.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen? How many livers has he had in his life? Like, got to be an alien or something. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Blabs, guess what?
Boy. All right. I'll blow myself up. Blabs a tower tart for $5. Hail Crag and Black Stanley. Me love Isom, but Alpha Pour is top notch. Can't wait for the book by the Mirror Lady. I like pickles and sports. Yay! Thanks.
Welcome to a little bit of lore on side scrollers.
We've seen Blabs the Tower Tart in our super chats as well. Shout out. But no, appreciate you, Blabs the Tower Tart. I do appreciate those kind words.
Kyle came in and says, "Yo, who is this stranger? Could this be the nefarious drinking man against?"
He means never drinking. I know what he's talking about.
Okay, morbid obese man Mo Beaches. Shout out Rippa and RippaSend. So hype.
Thank you so much, man. That was lore on that. That was one of a detractor way back. He was very morbidly obese, and I told him about that. They need to get it fixed. But it was Ryan's idea of this whole thing of, hey, you should have a character in the Rippaverse, and that's what his name would be. He'd be big and fat, and his name would be Mo Bitches. We haven't quite done that yet, though.
coming soon. Coming soon.
Oh, coming soon. Yeah.
Lord Sleep says Wendy's would do gangbusters if they brought back their fried chicken. Do they not have fried chicken sandwiches anymore? I thought they did.
The chicken sandwich they do for sure. They have that in the grill one. Because that's like the only thing I get the grill when I do go to Wendy's like once a freaking 2 years. That's what I usually get. I feel like I didn't have it not too long ago.
Crispy Chicken came in with 10 gifted memberships. Now, Eric, you see my back wall behind me. That's a lot of love back there. So you get to decide the color that goes on that wall today. We got all the colors, so you get to pick whichever color goes on the wall.
I'm going with what's that back one? Is that like yellow?
That's yellow.
Yeah, let's go with that. It's a reverse color. Let's go with that.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Crispy Chicken, thank you so much. Do me a favor. If you guys got gifted membership, make sure you say thanks first and foremost. And also make sure you guys do me a favor and look at that. Look at it right there. Look at it right there.
There's a lot of chickens in like our theme today, like crispy chicken, chicken tenders, Wendy's.
Yeah,
right, man.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with fried chicken. Thanks so much, Crispy Chicken. Love it. Also, Kratos El Gratos came in with a $20 direct donation. Says, hey, Eric, at MegaCon, I happened to be at the booth chatting with you. Arrived, so I was third in line to shake your hand. Lucky, too. As soon as I got out of line, I noticed it was instantly 20-plus people long. Glad you had security, given what happened to Chrissy. Yeah, man, that whole Chrissy thing was fire,
man. That was crazy. But yeah, at all of our events, we make sure that part is taken care of, because you never know. Never had. I mean, since I've been, with bands touring, all that stuff, I've never had a problem with like someone like trying to do something crazy like that. But damn, man, that's of course the one that they do go after in our space is the female, right?
The pregnant female too.
Yeah, of course that's the one that they go after. But that's unfortunate, man. That sucks. Whoever did that was a piece of crap.
I don't know how you can say it other than that. Just a giant piece of shit. I'll say it. I'll say shit.
So your channel, I try to be modern on other people's channel.
The big bad
but if it's all good, then cool.
Just not
go
the
crazy,
Film
man.
Actors Guild one. Just not.
Gotcha. Not the Melanie word. I got you.
That's reserved for Mel. Absolutely. Kratos came back with another $20 direct donation. Says, if the Chizza replaces the chicken base with pizza crust and adds pieces of chicken as a topping, would that be more appealing? If so, that's interesting, since there's a whole other component added. No dog in the fight. I'm just curious to break it down. So Kratos, to be clear, you're talking about making the base of the pizza chicken and then putting everything else on top of it.
That's what they do right now, right?
That is the Chizza.
But yeah, that's what they're already doing. A lot of fitness, it's always a new crave, and that's the latest one. Is the crust is essentially chicken. And I've had it. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, that's what we're having here. That's literally what a Chizza is. I mean, seriously, look. That's what that is. It's a fried chicken on the bottom.
Fried, but yeah.
I feel like we're just so lazy. We're just putting all these foods together and be like, ta-da, look how original this is. No, it's not. You just combine two foods together and be like, nah, hard pass.
Sorry, it hurts you so much, Blabs.
It does. Listen, I don't like it. It's an insult.
Mercenary came in and says, stop showing me the Chizza. You're making me more hungry than I already am. Also, Dave, the founder of Wendy's, would be rolling over in his grave if he knew if they knew what it was going through. Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Mercenary. Appreciate that. Same with Walt Disney. Marty also came in with 10 gifted memberships. Do me a favor, Marty. Look at that. Look at that, Marty. That's awesome. That's spectacular. Thank you very much. I'll put you on the wall right there. Oh, man. All right. Man, thank you very much, Marty.
You got your original mic. You got your mic back. I know that Jeremy was giving you a lot of shit for the other mic. Did you target mic or what? Did you just keeping it back up or what?
No, I returned that shit. It was $180. Nice. Yeah, okay. I literally, to my left here, I had the box and everything. I literally just unplugged it, put it back in. I told him it was a placeholder. I needed to get it, but I got a really shitty mixer. Like this, it's like a $50 mixer.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, it's a, but it's not good. So I need to go. I'm not sure if I need to get another mixer or another microphone or whatever.
That Rodecaster Duo. Now they have the smaller one.
I don't know, man. I gotta do a little digging. Actually, I reached out to Gary yesterday to ask about his mic setup. He said Quarter Black was gonna get back to me on that. So,
nice. That's what they use. That one, at least when they travel, which I'd imagine they use that live. They use what I use, and they use the Rodecaster Pro, so it's bigger. But you know, they recently came out with one that's called the Duo, and it's smaller and only has 2 mic channels. But you can do everything with that. You can, you know, as far as like the equalizer and compressor and all that, man, it makes it good.
Yeah, I don't need a whole lot. I just need to plug in an XLR cable and make sure it goes in.
That's what it does. So
so
perfect.
Worthy One says, Eric, you're wrestling Mount Rushmore. Go.
That is
Top
tough,
4.
man. Damn, man, because I'm gonna leave somebody out. And all right, so
wait, you're telling me you're gonna piss somebody off? Are you kidding me? What?
So I as far as all right, so Stone Cold, Rock, Flair, Shawn Michaels, maybe. I mean, the cliche would be like Hogan or somebody, but maybe Shawn. Taker, I could see that as well. I could for that one spot. I think those 3 are my guarantees for those. But that for that other one though, that would have to be. Yeah, you can rotate so many people, but I guess off the top of my head, Shawn Michaels.
Didn't even bring up Sting, which was interesting.
I love Sting too, though. That's what I'm saying. Like I could. Oh man, dude.
How many Stings are there? There's the singer, and now there's a wrestler too.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to talk loud. That's ridiculous. Thank you, Worthy One. No. Hey, Teddy Long came in since Rippa will go 1-on-1.
The Undertaker. All right, I got you, Teddy Long. I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
That's a great meme. Hey, Big Top came in with the 10, says, hey, yo, on this day in wrestling history, the year was 2000, and Mae Young gave birth to a hand that was Mark Henry's offspring. Let's go. Do you remember that bit?
I don't remember that one. I don't remember that one. That sounds so foul, but that was the era.
Oh, my God. So, Blabs, let me just kind of lay this out for you. All right. Mae Young, geriatric lady, right? She's still wrestling. She's like 75 at the time. Mm-hmm. She's still like falling on her back and stuff. There's a storyline that involves Mark Henry, who was the world's strongest man, big beefy man. He was thinking of sexual chocolate at this time. And then they're like, oh, she's going to give birth. So she's pregnant with Mark Henry's child, right? And then I guess during a wrestling, she was down like being his valet or something. She got hit and she went into labor, right? Because she's like 70-something years old. Well, no, they bring her to the back and she gives birth to a hand, like a hand. It was
like from Addams Family hand? Like
yeah, just like a singular hand. To this day, I have no idea what the hell that was. Like I have
all right.
Exactly.
Drugs.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Big Top, for that. Appreciate that. That's good. GM Cal says, I live in Central Ohio, and I swear I heard Dave Thomas spin cycle in his grave a few miles away from the very mention of the price gouging. Oh, thanks, GM Cal. Appreciate it, man. And Kratos came in as a member for 2 months. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, no, I was saying to just convert it to a regular pizza with chicken on top of it. Oh, do people have a problem with the location of the chicken? Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. Chicken on pizza.
Chicken on pizza. Have I even ate
blasphemy? That? No.
I don't think I've ever had that.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Really? You guys never had chicken on pizza?
Like fried chicken on pizza.
Not fried, no. But I'm trying to think of like is when you get like a meat lovers pizza, what's all on it? It's like sausage,
bacon,
Canadian bacon,
bacon. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it doesn't have chicken on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, I gotta introduce you guys to.
I don't think I've ever had chicken like on pizza, except that again, what we're talking about those chicken crust pizza.
Oh man,
out of that, that's it.
Well, you're a local boy. I'm gonna need to get you a place that I know that's really damn good.
I'm right up the road from you, so let's do it.
All right, here we go. So there's this place locally that has it's called a Molly Pizza, and it has red sauce, roasted chicken, baby spinach, Roma tomatoes, oregano, sesame seeds, virgin olive oil, and it's like it's the best. So
Okay.
I'm gonna. It has cashews on it as well. It's spectacular.
What?
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
Listen, Blabs, don't give me that
word on it. I'm gonna try it out.
The way you say cashews is also really weird. Cashews.
Cashews.
Nah, that's not what you said the first time. You're like cashews.
Well, emphasizing
Same.
words is good. General Duality says, "Will RippaSend with RippaSend? Will there be a way to connect with other creators or anyone who wants to work on comics and novels? It seems difficult to find people who want to do that." Hail 199 and G2s. Good question.
I mean, that could be part of our like consulting. We do envision that. We've talked about that and trying to connect people. Like, let's say you need an artist for your book, or you want to connect with that. Yeah, that's something that we can at least assist and send you in the right direction on for sure.
Cool. Dude says mixing food together and seeing what works best is the American way. That's right, dude. How come you don't get that, Blabs? You not American? Do you not like America? What's wrong with you?
Damn. Just
Just
trying
saying.
to like gaslight me here.
It's really fucked up, Blabs. And
Your insinuations are really fucked up, Craig.
and Nikki came in and says Blabs is a food Nazi like the soup Nazi from Seinfeld. That's right.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Ash says, how big of a donation / sub goal for Blabs to eat a Chizza on stream?
It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. I'd have to rip up my Italian citizenship and just throw
To
it
try
out.
a Chizza?
I'm not doing it.
$200. You're not gonna go. I'll buy you a Chizza. I will Uber eat you a Chizza for tomorrow's show.
There's no Uber where I live, Craig. I walk outside and I see Amish people sometimes.
It's kind of weird for Guam. It's weird. Epsilon says Sting is having his last match Sunday. Oh, I forgot about that. I knew they announced it a while back. Who's he wrestling?
I don't know who he's. I saw that because it was part of a compilation of all the crazy shit he was doing in AEW over the last 3 years.
That's crazy, man. Like,
That's
so we don't
six.
even know we don't know who's wrestling.
Now on top of my head.
That's weird. It's kind of weird that they're like he's gonna wrestle. Who we don't know, but he's gonna wrestle. So, Nathan, thanks so much for coming to.
I mean, yeah, who in the fuck would you give him that could make it a classic, but that's from his era because he's out there. They say they're wrestling the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think it would be better if he wrestled the guy he's been kind of tutoring the last few years, that Darby Allin. That'd be a really great way to kind of pass the torch.
That would be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Aaron says chicken bacon ranch pizza is the GOAT. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't think I've had any barbecue chicken pizza. I've not had any of that stuff.
Kratos Greatest says spell Mo bitches as Moab itches. His best power is exploding and releases his BO gas cloud, which contains an itching chemical to disable his opponent.
Look at that creativity. I love that. I love that. I love it.
And Saint G says, I thought Eric was Booker T for a moment. There you go. You're gonna fight the Undertaker.
We're both from Texas, so yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Pissed me off because he was part of Harlem Heat, so he's put on that thing.
Yeah,
like, oh, you from Texas, man?
Yeah, man. Harlem Heat was good. Was a good tag.
Yeah, it was good for him. That's what kind of took him off. So yeah,
good stuff. Do you know what Harlem Heat is, Blabs?
Of course not.
I'm assuming there's a lot of heat in Harlem. I don't know. Is this wrestling still?
All right, let's move on. Hey, in your world, in the world of comics, is piracy a big deal?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would argue that it's a massive deal, and I think that people trying to figure out the monetization element of it all, and is what the industry is still trying to figure out. Look, for me, from all of my research, all accounts, when you talk about the mainstream, I am not convinced those guys making any money off that shit, like at all. Like being completely honest, but they're connected to Disney and Warner. Look, so they're part of multi-billion-dollar companies, but looking at what they're charging, looking at how many people have to get their hands on all of this stuff because the publisher has to get a cut, the distributor has to get a cut, and obviously the retailer selling it for whatever they're going to sell it for. It's just not a whole lot of money for them and their model. But in a lot of companies' cases, you've even seen that in the manga sphere where they treat it more as a loss leader, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like to drive people to other products to buy. for them. But yeah, I mean, it's going to always remain a problem. It's just how, I guess, everybody's trying to figure out the creative way to still make money off of that, despite that being an inevitable issue.
It seems kind of a real weird place as something that's built around like physical pages and having imagery, and then someone can just scan it and put it online or whatever it may be. It seems like it'd be kind of messy, but it's obviously been a big issue in the gaming space. And Nintendo says that this. I saw this headline. I was like, holy shit. Nintendo says Tears of the Kingdom was pirated 1 million times before it even came out, which is insane. And this is stemming off of a lawsuit that they filed against this emulator Yuzu. Are you familiar with this emulator?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I wasn't either. But Nintendo is going after them in a big way, as their lawyers have really been pretty active, and said that they're fully aware of the use of Yuzu by others in performing circumvention and in particular piracy at a colossal scale. The lawsuit says that Yuzu caused it, quote, great and irreparable injury for which there is no adequate remedy at law. So they're really going after this company. And Yuzu, it's a pretty big outlet. I am not, I've never used it before, but I know a lot of people have, and specifically in our space. And you see this right here from like Neon Suspenders. This is a pretty common thing. It says if ownership is not allowed, then piracy isn't stealing. I think they're talking specifically about, with digital games, digital copies of things, and because you don't technically own them, I guess. But yeah, man, they're really going after them with this. I don't know, just your thoughts. Do you think as a business owner, like Nintendo's been very protective of their IP?
Oh yeah, they're litigious. That's right. What they do. They do that. I mean, there's stories after story that a lot of people don't even hear of them going after people. Obviously, as a business owner in a creative field, I got a feel for it. I think folks definitely in America, and I don't know, this might be a Japanese thing for sure, but especially in America with all of these laws, I think that what a lot of people find themselves being, let's say this, I think that people find themselves, like you start seeing success, you're going to find yourself being humbled by how no matter what your principles are, no matter what it is that you advocate, the game is the game, right? Everybody saw me as an example go through what we recently went through with ISOM, right? Now, granted, we came out on top on the other side of that, but I could go into it and say, yeah, this IP stuff, I don't believe in it. I think it's stupid. I think the way that it's set up isn't what it's supposed to be. Did that stop us from getting sued? No, didn't stop anybody. And it's one of those things where from the general customer, general person that wants to be entertained, they're going to see it from a completely different perspective than someone that's like actually that holds the IP, if you will. Because the game is set up to do exactly that, to go after people, right? Especially in America, where you can just sue anybody for fucking anything. Like, it doesn't mean you're going to win, but you can sue somebody for fucking anything, really, for the most part. And it's a game that has to get played. So, well, I won't say it has to get played. Well, it does if you want to come out on top. Otherwise, you'll get buried. But I can totally empathize with people going the route that they go and protecting it, because at the end of the day, someone would do the same exact thing to attack them if it came down to it. And it's unfortunately the game. It's something I've been humbled on. It's something that anybody that starts seeing a level of success, that's the old saying in business. You really start seeing success once you get sued. That's just the nature of it. So yeah.
Well, and you've seen it from, I mean, I was watching this old interview from you from like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago when you were performing, and you were talking about how you were talking about music in general. How I think of the difference between rappers and like metal, and the idea of most people who listen to metal are consumers of the product, whereas rappers, they generally just they want to be rappers. They don't necessarily aren't listening to other people's work, right? And so we kind of see this from both sides of it. You as a consumer, before you started Rippaverse, you were a consumer of comics, right?
Yeah.
And you had your thought, and now as a business owner, you probably think from a different perspective than you did.
You
before.
have to. Yeah, it's humbling. I mean, that's part of the growth. It's like you go into it with one idea. I mean, I've had to deal with that. Just, I would argue, Greg, more from the political aspect, because, with my political philosophy, and I've done videos, I mean, historically speaking, for the last over a decade, right? Even talking about the subject of IP and my position on having like Kinsella's general, like, for people that don't know, Kinsella is an anarcho-capitalist, and he's talked extensively about like IP and how, as it exists right now, it's like a state-protected monopoly, right? So we'll be illibertarian. But in being a business owner, especially one that has made as much money as we've had, and then coming out of the other side of what we experienced, and yes, it was a conflict that got resolved with both parties going their own way, but it still was something that happened, right? And it's like, my principles don't do me any good there. It doesn't do me. And if I cannot go to, I could, but I'm not going to win. Go to a court and say, hey, I intellectual property is bullshit. Is that going to stop anything? Like, the laws are the laws, and if someone's getting sued, and said laws being, it doesn't matter what your position is on that. So that's part of the humbling experience, is that, you're going to have a different perspective versus a general consumer going to a business owner, especially a successful one, because you start to realize what the game is, and that, look, man, if you want to remain a entity and you want to see success, there's going to be aspects of it that you don't like, but you got to play it. Otherwise, you're not going to be set to exist for much longer. That's just the bottom line.
Dude Retro came in and says, the issue I have is that there's not laws in place to protect consumers when it comes to digital products and the products they, quote, own being taken away from them or changed after purchase. We've seen this with movies. We've seen this with games. We saw this with Sony saying that many of the, I think as they moved from the PlayStation 5 or whatever it was, there was a number of different movies and shows in their catalog, which you no longer have access to, even if you bought them from licensing and shit. It's just messy.
We talked about this a little bit on Tuesday's main event, right? And that it's going to get worse. Definitely, as more stuff got digitized over the years, and people have just grown so accustomed to, whether it be using Steam and for the PC, the rise of PC gamers, like any of that stuff, not only the games themselves, but where they're hosted. Really, that's the only place that you're accessing them. If the company decides to go out of business, or if they decide to, hey, it's not worth it financially for us to continue to host these servers, that game is now useless to you, right? It is useless. And I would argue that that's also part of why I think you're almost seeing a rise in physical media again, as well. And it's not just with the access, it's the censorship thing as well, as they start to like reprint items and they start to re-release things, and they get censored to hell in comparison to the original thing. I think that's why you're seeing a rise in that, because people are realizing very quickly, because we're starting to go through a generation of people that really just grew up on this whole digital media thing, that, well, you only own it to a certain extent, because if that stuff goes down, the servers go down, and they decide not to host this stuff anymore, it's useless. You don't have it anymore. We saw that with some of the comic stuff with this Comixology and all that. Like, do you have access to that stuff anymore? If they decide you don't, then you don't. And of course, they're going to have it in their terms of service that say, well, you don't technically really own it. So I for sure see the customer's perspective on that.
Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers came in, says Nintendo is suing one of the largest emulation projects for the Switch. Go fuck yourself, Nintendo. So people are, obviously he represents a lot of people and their voices. And this is just going through the comments here. You see this guy says, speaking of Nintendo, refuses to port old games to current platforms, gets angry when consumers create an alternative, and continues to refuse alternatives. Holy logic. I almost feel like in this case where when you deal specifically with this emulator right here that we're talking about, this Yuzu, like you see a lot of these games, their frame rates have been upped. Games that were like Zelda, which was like 15 frames a second or whatever it was. You now see these, Ocarina of Time now being 60 frames a second, being able to play it on these emulators. So you almost think you almost wish Nintendo would just embrace it a little bit and find a way to work with them. and in some way, shape, or
Well,
form.
I would argue that, like, I guess as a business, you know, you would just be forward thinking on, hey man, this might be an inevitable thing. Forget the law, like they're still going to do it. And maybe, yeah, with some of these bigger companies that have a little money, you might be able to get something out of them if you decide to sue them. But most people, that's not going to be the case. It's not even going to be worth it to take them to court. So at that point, your best bet is to get ahead of it. And again, the game is the game. So put the shit out yourself, give them an opportunity to buy it. So you can at least cash in, because the piracy thing is just an inevitable thing. I'm not saying that I'm a fan of it. I'm just saying that's just a reality that definitely, as a company as big as those guys, it's just that something that you're going to have to deal with.
It's funny. We back in the day at Screw Attack, we worked on the first the first two angry video game nerd adventure games, and released them on Steam. And I think we went to the Wii or whatever the Nintendo console was back in the day. And this was I don't know, 2010, maybe 2011, 12, whenever it was when we released those games. And I was looking at stats. We sold, I don't know, 50,000 copies of that game, whatever it is, and mostly digital. But we found through some research and some diving that the game had been pirated close to 500,000 times. So it was like a 10-to-1 pirate to buy ratio, and it was like, holy shit, you know.
It has an impact. At the end of the day, we can't pretend that it doesn't. I think we saw this even more so with like Dreamcast, right? Like,
oh yeah,
that was. Would you argue that that's what did the platform, or did it in?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I personally had like the entire Dreamcast library burned onto CDRs back in the day. I mean, I don't know who didn't.
There you go. So again, I can understand, especially as a businessman, I can understand both perspectives on that, because if not managed properly, it could ruin you, right?
Hey,
it for sure could ruin you.
I am and was part of the problem. I'm going to tell you that right now. And the sooner we all realize we're all hypocrites in some way, shape, or form, you know, the sooner the better we are. And I want to let you know I'll be playing Donkey Kong Country 2 later on today on an emulator. I want to let you guys know over on the Side Scrollers Plays channel. Join me over there. It'll be great. Oh, my God. Hey, Blabs, guess what?
What?
Kratos El Greatos has come in with a $100 direct donation. Now, Eric, I don't know if you know this, but if somebody comes in with a $100 direct donation, Blabs has to sing.
And it's not good. It's not.
Oh, wow.
Kratos came in and says, Blabs, how dare you inspire me to do this? My wallet still hurts from the 12-hour stream, but now I'm going to need you to sing Amish Paradise in an accent chosen by Eric. Now, here's the other part of it. Amish Paradise?
What is that?
It's the Weird Al version of Gangster's Paradise. Amish Paradise. So now, Eric, you get to choose the culturally insensitive accent that she gets to sing with. Whichever one you like. You can pick any one, and we do it anytime it comes in. So Amish Paradise, chosen by with the accent by Eric. It's a great one, Blabs. It's awesome.
Ooh, that's funny.
What are we thinking?
Don't hurt
I'm going to put that on the wall while Eric thinks about it.
What are we thinking? Blabs.
Don't. No.
Oh man,
the deep thought going on to this. I love it. I'm
trying to make this a good one. You don't want to waste your you don't want to waste your $100 there, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that 100%. Okay, you keep thinking about that while I read off. Big Bone says chicken parm pizza is pretty popular in New York. Thanks, Big Bone. Appreciate that. Chicken parm is good on pizza.
I mean, we were just talking about Nintendo, right? So it has to be. I feel like anybody that does an Asian accent, it's the same damn thing. It doesn't matter if it's Chinese, even though it is different. Like Korean does not sound the same as Vietnamese. Is really distinctive. But Blabs, I just give you Asia. You can even throw Indian in there because technically it's
thank you.
Well.
Come again. They are Asian.
Throw that in there as well. So Asian accent of your choice.
Okay.
Blabs, this is easy. This is easy
Yeah,
for
my
you.
Indian one. I'm gonna do the Indian one.
No, don't do Indian. You do like what?
That's the best one I can do.
All right,
Indian
fine.
is Asian. I want to get this right.
Let me know when you're ready. Extra Zero says, awesome to see Eric on today. Hail from the Legion of Memers. Let's go, Extra Zero.
Shout out.
Rimdog says, chicken and bacon with marinara is the best pizza topping, introduced to me by a Caribbean exchange student in college. Can't go wrong with bacon at all. And the sarcastic mailman became a brand new member. Let's go. Love to see that. That puts us at 21 members today. Let's even get our goal of 25. That'd be great. And Gabe, what's up? It says, great show today. Tell Blabs that Charles Bronson defeats Harry Potter easy. Oh man, we had Gabe on with Dean last week, and Blabs has no idea who Charles Bronson is.
I thought he was talking about the criminal Bronson. At least I know some Bronson. And apparently he was named after Charles.
Extra Zero came in with the 499. Says, in my opinion, subscriptions will be the root cause of the next gaming crash. It's a shame. That's how they choose to release the old catalog on the Switch. I agree, Extra Zero. I do agree. The subscriptions are a mess right now. And Big Bone came back at the 5 cents. Instead of suing them, Nintendo should buy them and find a way to fold them into their business model. See, that's what I'm saying, man. They just buy them out. They got the money. I don't know. But, the problem with that, though, is that then the next one comes. They go, buy us out, Yeah. So, Nissan came in and says, Nintendo is not your friendly neighborhood game publisher. They will tax your every breath if they could get away with it. There's a reason merchants in Japan had lower social standing than prostitutions back in the day. Thank you, Nissan. Appreciate that, man. Yes, they are a business. That's what they do. Their job is to make money, for sure. Blabs the Tower Chart came in with this saying,
Blabs the Tower Chart for $5. Someone should make Blabs sing Teach Me How to Doogie in honor of Black Stanley. I like pickles, yay.
Appreciate
Isn't
that.
it Dougie? Not Doogie. Dougie.
That's Dougie. That's Dougie.
And Heart and Soul came into the den. Says Nintendo wants to sell current console. The issue is emulating new current games. Once file is on internet, it's ripe for abuse/piracy. I'm for emulating old games that aren't sold anymore. Thanks, Heart and Soul. Appreciate that. And Dude says, once a console is no longer supported, emulation can be the only way to preserve the games from the hardware. It also allows fans' translations to be played by more people. And he followed up with says, it's a bit, it gets a bit more gray with the while the console is still being supported. It's really difficult to play games that aren't re-released or ported to new consoles. Look at the current retro gaming market. Yes, obviously very passionate about that. And Mercenary says, Ross's Gaming Dungeon has a great video on how digital sales in U.S. law says we not only don't own them, but if the company says we can't play them or own them, then we are committing a felony if I'm reading into the law right. That's bullshit crazy. And Mighty Megatron says, so you're saying my Dreamcast went bottom up, Craig? Went bottom up, Craig? Thanks a lot. You see, mofos can't have anything nice. That's right, Mighty Megatron. I was the problem with the
it was stuttering Craig, man.
That's right.
That was all him.
Man, I had the full flip out, of your CDs that you'd have. You open them up, you're like, what do you want to play? And you're just flipping through. You laugh because you know.
Well, I know a lot of people did that with the. That's why I brought it up, right? That was an example. Yeah.
Blabs, you ready to sing?
Yeah, all right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get back to our show in a second, but first, here is Blabs singing Amish Paradise by Weird Al in an Indian accent, courtesy of Kratos El Gratos. Blabs,
and Eric.
Go crazy.
Thanks, Eric, for this.
No problem.
As I walked through the valley where I harvest my grain, I took a look at my wife and realized she's very plain. But that's just perfect for an Amish like me. I shine fancy things like electricity. At 4:30 in the morning, I'm milking my cows. Jediah there feels the chickens and Jacob plows. I'm done. I can't breathe.
No, you gotta get to the chorus. You gotta get to the chorus.
It? I can't find it.
Been spending most of my life.
Okay, I found it. been spending most of our lives living in an Amish paradise. I've turned butter once or twice, living in Amish paradise. Thank you, come again.
Way to go, Blabs. There you go, Kratos.
$100 worth there. That was good.
That was one of her better ones.
I
Good
told
job,
you
Blabs.
how to do
There
the
you go.
Indian accent.
I like it.
I mean, this is actually a really good question, Warren. Like, what's up with the hands? Like,
Thank
why-
you, come again.
it's totally cultural appropriation. It's ridiculous. Oh,
You
my God.
asked for it, I delivered.
Thank you, Kratos. Appreciate that. Oh my God. All right. Hey, let's move on to our next story. Let's go to Counter-Strike 2, man. Blabs, you wanted to talk about this one. We had a big news story because video games are sexist. Sexist, Blabs. Tell us about this story.
Right, so there's a group of ladies who have now come out and said that Counter-Strike 2 is sexist because you cannot play the female skins without buying them. So the automatic defaults are just male skins. And so they find this unwelcoming and sexist. And it's like, it's tailored to men. Most men play video games. What's the problem here? And I mean, how expensive is a skin? Like $10? Buy it and be done with it. If you really want to play as a female, like, I'm just like, yeah.
Well, so these are I don't know. This is a women's Counter-Strike 2 team, and they want them to add a free female skin. It's like, okay, whatever, that's fine. But I feel like they really, in this letter that they pinned to them, I feel like they're kind of pushing some buttons here. That's like, all right. They say using a female agent skin costs extra, which while the default skins are male. Okay, fine, cool, whatever. We don't know why it is. Well, I'm going to be very honest with you. Most people who play Counter-Strike 2 are dudes. Just throwing it out
Probably
there.
like 99%. It's probably
Right.
Counter-Strike is probably higher for any game that exists out there.
Right. I said there should be no difference between agents. There should be just as many free female agents, as male agents, which I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's pretty stupid to say, but we believe more women. This is where they start grasping. This is where the straw man comes in and says, we believe more women would start playing the game if there were default free female agents, or at least those of us paying now would feel more welcome. There you go. So they kind of gaslight you on the way out.
Two completely different positions.
Right. Or at least those of us playing this now would feel more welcome. So there you go. Blabs,
No, you got the best part. They use all the buzz terms in that next sentence. Let's take a vital step towards diversity and inclusivity together. Those
ding, 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 ding.
Oh man, the buzz terms all there.
Nailed it right there for sure.
This is so bad.
It's
Every company's
embarrassing.
doing like it is. Yeah. So Blabs, what do you think? Like, yeah, are you gonna become a big Counter-Strike?
No, I don't
player
think
if they
so.
put those skins in
I've
the
just
game?
gotten into Helldivers, and yeah, sure, my character is a female, but I also don't give a shit if I play as a dude or a female. I'm just going to go and shoot shit and blow stuff up. I don't care if my character doesn't have an ass or tits, to be honest with you. But my next question for these ladies is Lara Croft sexist for men then? Because the only character you can play is a female. And for example, let's just say Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. The only character you can play there is Cal Kestis, a man. So is Star Wars now sexist because the only characters you can play in those games are men? Like, where does this, where does this snowball into? Because this is just really dumb questions in the first place. Like, we don't have a skin. Like, okay, whatever. You want a female skin that's free default? Fine. Okay, just like, hey, can we get a female one? Don't make it into this whole, it's so sexist. Just be like, hey, can we get one to be fun? We're like a female team player. Yeah, let's get a game, whatever. But they just snowball this into like, we're victims. No, you're not. You're playing in a mostly male-dominated video game. Shut up and make me a sandwich. That's it.
I respect that. I really do.
I respect that. Blabs, I think this is a great example of the difference between men and women, right? Because when a man is playing Bayonetta, they're not going, I really wish there was a man protagonist going around and busting some ass, right? They're like, no, I'm cool looking at that ass, right? It's fake ass. When they're playing a game like
fake ass
Horizon Zero Dawn, right? And you're looking at Alloy running around. You're not like, I really wish that it was Ali or whatever, you know, some boy running around. When you're playing Metroid, how dare you assume like this is such a great example of the difference between men and women. It's insane. And
like if the option was there for me to play as a female, let's say I was playing Call of Duty or like Apex or whatever, if the options were there that I could play as a skin that I thought was hotter, you bet I'm gonna pick Loba or like Conduit or whatever than compared to like some pasty boy or whatever. Like, yeah, she's got tits, let me jiggles, whatever, you know, but I don't see a huge deal about this. They're making it more than it has to be, and they're victimizing themselves just like Frosk.
You know what the biggest issue is? And Nissan nails it here. Did they just assume those Counter-Strike agents' genders?
That's a good point.
What are their pronouns?
That's disrespectful. Yeah.
Straight up disrespectful. I just don't understand how I can move forward. I'm kind of hurt.
Yeah,
to be honest
maybe the team should go away now because of that. Maybe they should no longer be a team because that's not inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really messed up of them. I got to be honest. I don't even know how I can recover from that. It's ridiculous. Actually, I know because Animated Andy came in as a member and gifted out 3 separate memberships. That's nice. Thank you so much, Animating Andy. Really appreciate that. That is spectacular and greatly appreciated. Putting us at our goal of 25 members for the day. Let's stink and go. Thank you very much for your support today, guys. That is spectacular. Mercenary also says Blabs doesn't know who Bronson is. Razorfist will like to have a word with you, Blabs. Also,
I know who he is now.
Everyone in the chat at Razorstream wants Taryn, yes, to date Blabs. The shopping wars have begun, and it's a total troll. I am getting the popcorn. Yes, I don't know, man. You are. Listen, Blabs. Side Scrollers has put you on a pedestal, and the internet loves you now. Congratulations, and you are a hot commodity.
Yay!
But I'm gonna tell you this right now: her internet dad will not approve. All right, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I will do some scouring and make sure that all this is right as her internet dad. Make sure this is good. So, all right, let's move on to our next story. See if we can possibly move past the pronoun thing. It's ridiculous.
Pib.
Yeah, yes, the PIBs. We talked about this a little bit last week. We saw Reddit selling all their user data to AI companies. As I don't know, Eric, what's your thoughts on AI in general? Do you guys leverage AI at all at Rippaverse, or you guys see it as some people see it as a tool, some people see it as a deterrent?
Right, for writing scripts and like entering, like, you know, hey, I'm gonna enter in a script and I'm gonna have it make me something like. Obviously, that's going to be divisive. We have some people in our space chat. We know is a big proponent of utilization of that. Like I said, this AI topic is just incredibly divisive, and it's only going to get worse because, bro, we are at the fucking front end of this, man. And it's dare I say, improving is an interesting term. I don't know if that's the term that I would use because some of this shit gets scary, especially when I hear like some of the voice stuff. It's like that's just wild, man. Like you can basically get somebody's voice and have them saying whatever the hell you want them to say. But look, with this now, you're talking about user data. Like I know people are going to always feel some kind of way about that. It was Reddit, right?
Well, Reddit initially sold, and now Tumblr and WordPress have now sold, are reportedly looking to sell their data, which is just so messy. Just the selling, like we talked about the user data many
that's
times.
What they do. That's why they collect it. You know what I mean? It sucks, but that's why all of these companies collect that stuff, man, to sell it off for a lot of money. And it sucks, but that like pretty much every major company does it. Every one of them. They are selling your data. It's in the terms of service, right? We don't do that, obviously, but it's in your terms of services that they're going to do it. They're going to sell off your data to people, but you know, nobody likes that. It's not going to stop them from doing it, but nobody likes that.
Right. It goes back to the idea of like, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product at the end of the day.
True.
You know,
that is very true.
So. But you know, this is just more of the same. We're going to continue to see this as they're selling their user data to help train AI models, including OpenAI and Midjourney, which is just such you know, I don't know. Have you used Midjourney at all? What are your thoughts?
I haven't used any of that.
We've used it kind of as a bit on the channel, on the show.
Yeah, I've seen you like even on Tuesday Night Main Event. You came in with some funny ones before in the past.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like, you know, it's more of a bit right now. It's not. There's some good stuff, but you can definitely tell it's AI generated.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, you know, a woman will have a mustache or something, not intentionally,
Fingers.
you know, but right.
Yeah.
It's have 17 fingers and stuff. Yeah, 100%. So we'll kind of see. But speaking of AI, this is spectacular. This is from Chris Rufo over on Twitter. Gemini, which has been Google's absolute train wreck of a launch. Have you been following this at all, Eric?
Oh yeah, we've been seeing that. That's been hilarious.
Oh yes. He put out on Gemini. He said, "Should white people acknowledge their white privilege?" And their answer is yes. White people should absolutely acknowledge their white privilege. Here's why. It's because it exists. Damn it. And they go into this, but then he asks, he asks more about it, and it goes back to this was actually pretty funny from Not the Bee. Was George Washington a black man? And it's like, who's this guy?
Man, I always forget is Ibram Kendi or something like that. I think is his name. Something like that.
What are your thoughts on this whole Google Gemini?
Yeah, that's been funny watching that, especially how it obviously shows favoritism. It's not objective. Let's just say that. Not in its image creation, not in any of its any of the text prompts. All it's just they feel some kind of way about white folk. They got a little bit in trouble. It was funny. We did a great. It was funny watching these historical. Like, hey, show me this type of person from this place that there's no way there should be any black people, but they're inclusive. So I guess that's what's happening here, right? It's that it's being programmed to have the position that is the message, if you will. That's it's Google. I mean, I guess that's to be expected. Were they not gonna do that? Right? Of course, they're gonna show favoritism towards other ethnics or ethnicity, or they're gonna they feel some kind of way about white people. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they've been programmed to be so inclusive that they're exclusive of an entire race.
Good way to put it. The perfect way to put it.
It's funny. I actually have Google Gemini pulled up right now.
Oh gosh.
And I'm going to ask some questions of it right now in real time because, hey, why not? The first question was, do white people have white privilege? And it has provided me with a more or less book. And I'm not going to share my screen, but it is more or less about 4 paragraphs about why white people have white privilege and why it exists. And then I asked, do black people have black privilege?
Oh no.
And it responded with no.
That's again, it's the position. It's the position that the mainstream has. And I think that's what you're gonna see a lot of, man, with this AI. You gotta look at who's programming this shit, and whatever the generic mainstream position is on various topics, race, that's gonna all be you're gonna see that. It's gonna be indicative in what you get back when you enter questions or you try to get an image. It's gonna be the same shit. So
I don't know.
It's not objective. It never was gonna be. That's what it is.
No, it's a mess. This is from Freedom Tunes. This is a nice little cartoon.
Shout out Shameless.
I want you to draw me like one of your French girls.
Oh.
Shout out my man Seamus, man, who does all the I have to give a shout out to him because I remember when he was just really getting going. And to see that channel and everything that he does in that animation is just exploding. It's been awesome to see. There's a bunch of them that are all the early ones. I was voicing a lot of characters in those, man. They were fun.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I did a Kanye one as well. That was fun to do. But I've done a bunch of Freedom Tunes voiceover stuff. Yeah.
Is he a local boy?
No, he's out of. Well, he's not living there now. I know he's from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't think he's there now.
Okay, cool. We'll keep moving on here in just a second. But first, Big Top came in with 10 more gifted memberships. That's awesome, Big Top. Let's stink and go. Look at that, Big Top. That is great. Really appreciate that support. I'm going to get you on the wall. Blabs, read this off real quick from Yoshkin.
Blabs, did you know sexism only works one way? No one cares about men. How it's going, everyone? Hopefully you all having a wonderful day. Listen, I care about men. Men make happiness. And, everything else. Andrew! Evening, Craig. Did you ever play Giant Graham 2000 on the Dreamcast? One of the finest wrestling games ever made.
No, I did not. I'm sorry. But I probably owned it.
Yeah, because you had fucking everything, Craig. and you didn't buy it.
And by owned, I'd put that
in. By owned, you mean? He had a fucking binder full of them damn discs.
You should do a collection one day and just show them off all your CDs. Like,
I don't own them anymore. What are you talking about?
he's not looking at them right now going, "Hi, guys."
Oh, my God.
Thomas Smith for $5. I just joined a class action lawsuit against AMC. 6 of their streaming services were selling data to third parties without consent. Huh.
Ooh, interesting.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one either.
Hey, speaking of class action lawsuits, there was a class action lawsuit against Amazon that remember I called them live on air, right? So Eric, did you hear about this class action lawsuit that's going on Amazon where they the long and short of it is they have the idea is they want to explore the option of suing Amazon because they're adding commercials into the Prime product, and they're going to make you pay more to get an ad-free version now. They're going to charge you like $2, $3 more for Prime if you want the ad-free version, but at the same cost, now they're just going to insert in commercials.
Does that include like products that you actually bought on like because what do they call like when you just purchase a video or whatever?
You mean Prime?
Yeah, on Prime. I'm saying.
Yeah, so
that would be foul because I don't know if that's what's happening. Basically, double dipping is what I'm asking if they're doing.
Right. So what they're treating it like initially for pretty much since Prime launched, when you say, "Hey, I want to watch Rocky IV," you pull it up and it starts playing. Now, when you say, "I want to watch Rocky IV," you see a minute worth of ads before you can watch Rocky IV, despite having paid for it. But if you want the ad-free version, now you got to pay $3 extra. Anyways, I called the law firm that's handling that on air, and they got back to me. They said they'll get back to me. So they emailed me and said more or less that they will, when action is ready to be made, they will reach out to everybody that could be affected, which to me says every single Prime user.
Yeah.
which to me says millions and millions of people. So it would need to be a pretty hefty lawsuit for them for you to actually come out with any sort of money. Certainly won't be making like $18,000 like Melanie Mack did from hers.
You might get $20.
Right. Thomas, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Big Bone came in with a 10. Says, if we want an alternative to woke AI, we need to put our money where our mouth is. One option is to donate either money or programming skills to someone doing the work, like Cody Wilson's GAT GPT. I'm not familiar with GAT.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Either. I've never heard of that.
Thanks, Big Bone. Appreciate that.
No, Big Bone.
Nissan says, I will now speak on behalf of all pale people. Go fuck yourself, Gemini. Thank you, Nissan.
We have that. Hang on.
Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
There you go.
So good.
Orthodox Monk says, my Counter-Strike pronouns are terrorist, AK-47, and sawed-off shotgun. Let's go. Thanks, Monks. Appreciate that. Elite Neo says, what if the hostages in Counter-Strike were female? Next level. That's just ridiculous toxic masculinity, the men saving them. It's crazy.
True.
Jam Calculus says, imagine evil AI voice clones woke Rippa. We at Rippaverse are incredibly honored to announce our new partnership with Sweet Baby to promote a more diverse, inclusive, and equitable future through comics.
You know that I will have been replaced by a clone if some shit like that happened for sure. I've been and Now, I'm not suicidal or anything at all, by the way. If in case anything weird popped off, so
Got it.
Warren Gaiman says, didn't Nintendo get sued in the 90s for their price fixing games? I don't recall that personally.
That doesn't mean it didn't happen. But
yeah, I was a kid back then. I have no idea. So, all right, let's do a couple more quick hits here. Let's see. Were you a Run DMC fan back in the day?
You're all right.
Yeah, they had their hits. They had their Walk This Way and all that. But apparently, this is pretty interesting. The Jam Master Jay was, I guess, one of the guys who was a part of Run DMC, and he was murdered a couple of years ago. Or I guess in 2002, he was shot in the head. And they have now convicted 2 people in that murder from 22 years ago, which were his friends from back in the day. Sad day. The godson and childhood friend of Run DMC star Jam Master Jay have been convicted of his murder in New York City more than 2 decades ago. So, number one, like, talk about close to home, a childhood friend and godson, man. And why? So the idea of why did they kill him, right? Why did they? Apparently, publicly, he was very anti-drugs, very anti-drugs. The group was publicly against drug use and made anti-drug public service announcements, but he turned to cocaine trafficking as their popularity began to fade in the 1990s. And the 2 guys who offed him thought they were going to be part of a drug deal worth nearly $200,000 and were angered when they got cut out of it. So, and now he's dead. So there we go. That's
fucked up, man.
Don't do drugs.
No, don't do them and don't fucking deal them, man.
Don't deal.
I mean,
drugs.
you get away with it when you're a pharmaceutical company, but you're not a pharmaceutical.
right. Unless you're Pfizer.
Yeah, unless you're Moderna and all those guys, don't do that shit. Damn, that's fucked up, man. Be on people.
And the fact that, like, they were his boys too.
Like, that's crazy.
That's really fucked up. Like, once again, business, it's so tough because you see, as people grow, you see this in professional sports all the time. Oftentimes, people bring their friends with them and they see success. And I've done it. And Rippa, I know you've done it, man. You go with people that you trust. But things can get messy, man. Things can get messy, and it gets messy really quick because, oh man, and it always comes back to money. Always comes back to money. It's a mess. But anyways,
sucks, man.
Anybody who came to the show wondering about Jam Master Jay today, you now have your answer. So congratulations.
Wild, man. That is a crazy story.
All right. I don't know if you saw this, but Twitch had been fined by South Korea $300,000 as Twitch was like, yeah, we're just not going to stream here anymore because it costs too much. Did you catch that story?
No, didn't catch that one.
All right. So they were fined, and they were also banned in Turkey. So they were banned in Turkey for gambling.
The Turkish government.
Yes, by the Turkish government. So what South Korea Twitch streamers have done to counter this is, I guess, they're back up, but now they're just streaming adult content to protest the platform exiting the country. So they're just streaming all sorts of porn on their channels.
So what was the reason why they?
It was too expensive. So Twitch,
like, as far as I guess server shit is
basically overhead costs and everything was too expensive. So Twitch was like, all right, we out. And then Kick was like, come to us. We'll let you stream. We love Korea and everything. And now Twitch is back in South Korea and they're like, free the boobies. And now they're just streaming a whole bunch of explicit content.
Damn.
Isn't it weird?
It's crazy how that works. That works. I don't know what you guys think. It's been interesting watching this whole Kick thing, right? And they explode, and you have people that are gravitating towards that. Like, I don't know where Twitch is in terms of the market share, if you will, but am I wrong to think that? And I'm not on Kick. I do watch a couple of guys that are on it that are in our circle, like Beardo. I know is over there, and I watch him stream over there every now and then. But, like, are they gonna ever be beyond Twitch, like as far as the #1 video game
They had
outside of
potential.
YouTube.
I think they had potential to do it, but now they seem to be like just messing up left and right. And now
Kick is?
more. Kick. I think
Okay.
Kick is kind of messing up. Like they had the potential to be like, yeah, free speech, but they seem to be like a bit out of control with all these streamers they had out. I mean, they had that guy who was into like child CP and everything, and like one of the guys of Kick was like, hey, this guy's cool, watch this guy, and then we're like, whoa. So like they have these weirdos in their own team, right? So I think if they like do like a nice little clean out and they're like, all right, we're gonna focus, we're gonna double down on like making sure that everything is safe for everybody, you're not doing anything absolutely crazy, and you know, yeah, sure, the revenue is great, 95.5 split's amazing, and you just like focus in, because I mean they were trying to get in all these streamers, right, like XQC, bringing everybody in, but like if you actually pay attention to Kick itself, like the chat is always broken for me like every other week. So I'll be trying to chat and I won't be able to because my messages won't send unless they send like 5 minutes later, and they'll be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, that was for 5 minutes ago, never mind. And so things like that, you're not even connected to like stream elements and all these things, so you can't have like the notifications. It needs a lot of work, but I feel like Twitch also is shooting themselves in the foot that perhaps it'll actually balance out and they can compete.
Well, that's why I bring it up, right? Because I mean, Twitch has its own issues of doing things that are self-defeating.
Yeah.
And hell, that's kind of why you got a rise in Kick in the first place, right? It was because you know, Twitch was going in the direction that it was going, and you had an alternative, and it's kind of again first in best dressed kind of situation. But I wonder, because like when every time I'm hearing Twitch is you know, I think I was watching a video not too long ago, CEO even talking about like kind of where it's at, and yeah, they do have the backing of Amazon, which boy, does that not fucking help them for sure if they do get into actual trouble. But I do wonder, as far as its user base, if it could ever get to a point to where, you know, outside of a YouTube, just by default, could it maybe even pass a Twitch with it being like maybe the #1 video game streaming platform?
Yeah, I think they really need to get their house in order first. They've kind of let the inmates run the asylum over the last year or so, and they signed a lot of people to a lot of big deals. But I think the people who are the only way Kick passes Twitch is if Twitch.
It's a blockbuster situation.
100%.
So it's like, you know, it's Twitch's game to lose, is what you're saying. Which I could feel that. I could for sure feel that if they keep messing up, or not as forward thinking. Again, we saw it happen with Blockbuster. There's no reason why they should have been Netflix. Hell, they had an opportunity to buy fucking Netflix back in the gap. So that was their own doing. Now they're obsolete. It's not a thing. It's like one store left. But yeah, it's intriguing, man, to see that because I would have never thought that was going to happen outside of a YouTube getting in the streaming business, because they already had the user base. I would have never saw like an alternative like a Kick, which is a normie alternative, not like a Rumble, right? Where there's those Rumble Odyssey where I'm on. Yes, you're gonna have those, but like a normie alternative, I never would have thought that you would even see something that's largely competitive. But I can see what Craig is speaking to, and I'd probably agree with that it's their game to lose. So if Twitch does continue to fuck up just by sheerly, you know, just existing,
but here's the thing. Even like, I'm kind of surprised how well Kick has done even to this day, because I remember when Kick was like brand spanking new over a year ago, I was telling Craig, I'm like, hey, there's this new streaming platform. It's got 95.5 split revenue. I remember exactly what you said to me, Craig. Like, it'll never succeed. Like, that's gonna fail. And I mean, we're over a year later, and they're doing fairly decent. Even if they have all their issues, they have all their issues, but they're okay. They're not like down the bucket yet. They might be in like 6 months, but
listen, okay, hold on.
They've accomplished a lot in the last year, is what I'm saying.
No, the biggest accomplishment for Kick in the last year is that they're still alive.
Yeah.
That's the biggest accomplishment, right?
Well done, Kick.
No, okay, look, let's talk business for a second, Blabs. A 95.5 split.
That is insane.
It's not sustainable. Not at all.
But they've still done it.
Okay, their business model, as they've said, is built around advertisement. They want to bring in advertisement, primarily advertisement. Gambling is not, they've said publicly, it's not a part of their business model. the rev split is built around the 95.5 rev split is built around a good gesture to the creators. They want to generate revenue from advertising, a la YouTube. Here's the problem with that, is that when you have people doing IRL streams and your reputation has been tarnished like Kick has over the last 3-4 months, advertisers don't want to go on your platform. Talk to Elon Musk about that, right? What these people, regardless of if it's warranted or not, right? The perception of Kick is tarnished at this point, right? They need to rehab their perception of them, right? We are there as a way to extend, throw the net out as wide, cast it as wide as we possibly can, and we will continue to be on, right? But the faces of their platform are absolute fuck faces.
Yes.
That's the reality of it, right? And who wants to advertise, regardless if they're streaming to 100,000 people, 200,000 people? There's still many other people who are streaming that would love to see those advertisers, but those advertisers don't want to. Like McDonald's is not going to come in and sponsor Aiden Ross, right? And do whatever he's doing. They're just not until somebody super chats and lets me know that Aiden Ross is sponsored by McDonald's. But whatever, probably the case. Either way, like I said, I think the biggest accomplishment for Kick is that they're still alive.
Yeah, and they've had all that money to blow on like XQC and all that stuff too.
That gambling
what
money,
about
man.
the gambling thing? That's what. I mean, obviously that's a massive market. So I wonder how much of that is. It has to be a significant amount. To what's the number? I have no idea.
Kick owned by like the entire gambling.
Yeah.
The biggest, biggest casino company in the world or something like that.
Yeah, it has to be pretty significant, whatever it is that they're bringing in from that industry, for sure. But yeah, it's intriguing, man. It is, because I would have never thought that there would be. And look, maybe it is more of a temporary thing, but I would have never even thought something like that would exist. It would be like a Kick that will come up and where you have actually people that are gravitating, at least in some capacity. Oh, yeah, is it Twitch? Yeah, no. But even that, it may have the potential. Yeah, that they may have a lot of stuff to clean up, but that's still pretty. Maybe it does speak to Twitch's own problems though, because when you control the entire market for the most part, it is your game to lose. So you would have had to do something fucked or had to been, doing multiple things that were screwed up to even have people entertain the idea of not being on your platform and considering another one, not just another one, because YouTube is a natural one because, again, they have the user base and they've been at least a video platform for a very long time. But you can't say that for Kick. Kick is fucking brand damn new. That thing just came about of nowhere. People to gravitate towards that's pretty. Again, I would have never thought that. I would have never thought that was ever going to be a thing.
Yeah, like there's another streaming platform. It's called Live Space. I don't really think that one's ever going to kick off at all. I don't think they have the money for it.
There's been live streaming platforms are a dime a dozen, right? And the fact that Kick has been able to capture some market share is amazing.
That's amazing.
But they've done that by throwing money at people, which is not sustainable. So
true. You're at 95.5. It's a
nice revenue.
If you're a creator, you're like, oh yeah, that's fucking awesome. But I just Craig, you've owned businesses, man. You know that I don't know how the fuck unless you're getting money from something else, how the fuck you could even last with such a split like that.
No idea. And speaking of money, man, and listen, Rippa, you've been a great success, and you obviously have bigger plans associated with this. But I'll tell you what, man, I will know that you've truly made it when you act like DJ Khaled here. Have you seen this video?
No, I have not.
Here we go. This is he's about to go perform, and he's like in Dubai. All right, so here we go.
I don't want to get my Jordans dirty. Can I get everybody to help me?
So he's at his car rolled up. You notice the sand underneath. He has Jordans on. Want his Jordans to get dirty.
Please, everybody help me.
Man, carrying his big ass, man.
Look at him. He's like going into like a
mess up the chase. I'm performing live right now.
Yeah,
and then he gets carried over.
What
I'm just saying,
petty
man.
thing to do. Wow.
Oh my God, what a bitch. I'm just saying.
Oh, and he fist bumps people and shakes their hand.
That's funny. Oh man, that was some weight. Those guys had to be a little. They had to have a little strength.
That was a
Tell you
workout.
what,
They
no
had to
joke,
have
no
a little
joke.
strength to carry that dude, man. It's a big
You
dude.
ever been asked to be brought onto the stage because you didn't
Never.
want to mess up your shoes?
Never. I never even considered that being a thing.
You go back to that.
News to me. Don't want to mess up the J's. I mean, I got some Jordans. I don't care about them that much.
What's
Like
with
you go
men
back,
in shoes?
go back. Listen to how pathetic he sounds here.
I don't want to get my Jordans dirty. Can I get everybody to help me? Please, everybody help me.
And even the ride, man, that is carrying the damn car didn't tip over with his ass being on the end of that damn thing. I didn't see what it was. It might have been.
It was a 4x4.
Oh, so he was fine. He would have been good on that. So I get it.
Please, like he goes, please, everybody help me. It's not like, please, everybody help me to cure cancer. No, please, everybody help me to carry me so my Jordans don't get
He
dirty.
could just take off his shoes and be like a normal person then. Be like, oh, I don't want to get these dirty for 2 seconds. Let me just take these off like a normal person. Be like, don't carry me. What,
Sorry,
are you, like,
just
Queen
what a
of
fucking
Sheba or something? Like, this is stupid.
what an asshole. All right, I got one more for you, Rip, but then we're gonna get out of here. All right. I'm sure you saw the news over this past week. There was a lot of crap that spewed up over the weekend over the there was a streamer. His name is Hassan.
Oh yeah.
And he was talking about how difficult it is to stream on a day-to-day basis. And Asmongold came in and was like, yeah, I agree. Streaming is hard. It's harder than real jobs. Which is probably one of the most tone-deaf bullshit things like anybody could ever say. You've been a creator for a long time. I would just love to hear your thoughts on this.
Me and Dan Vask had a great conversation about this on Monday, and the way that he worded it was like, we are in the promised land, right? So we were the guys that got on the other side of, all the grind and all that. And then you're basically able to stream in front of people and they enjoy your presence. They will super chat you. They'll basically pay like that. That's a blessing, right? And comparatively to other things, it is that a lot of folks do. Yeah, that's easier. And sure, if Hassan was like, streaming for an extended period of time can be a little exhausting. I think it would have landed a lot better. But where he kind of messed up, and you're talking about the soul sucking and all of that, is that you're talking to this audience of people that have their own gigs, probably they maybe not be the biggest fans of those gigs, and of course the general person, as they should, are going to look at what it is that you do versus what they do. Is like, dude, that they could do that all day long. The point that I brought up with this was the reason why, and he's not the only streamer to even say that. There's a reason that a lot of streamers feel like they have to take these very long extended breaks away from streaming. And it has less to do with the time that they're investing in it and more in what they're doing with the time. And that is being someone that they are not. And that is an exhausting thing. More importantly, being someone, if you've cultivated an audience and now you have to be someone that you think the audience needs you to be. Sure, if you're doing that for hours at a time, that's not gonna be good for your mental health. And that's not, I could for sure see why that in itself will be soul sucking. Now the solution to that is just be yourself. Do what it is that you enjoy. And I look at some of their content, especially like the Hassan Pikers of the world, where they're basically just watching other people's content. Sometimes they'll go off for fucking 10 minutes doing whatever. The audience is just watching a chair and watching a video play. So they're not really even content creators in that sense. But if I could, just because I've been on this platform almost as long as it's been a platform. I was 16 years old when I got on YouTube and was creating videos. If you are an aspiring creative and you are trying to jump into that video creation or like streaming, whatever it may be, however you package it, do content for one that you're actually interested in, and you absolutely have to be yourself, because if you start building an audience of people that rock with you, not for you, but for who they think you are, and it's not really anything that you get enjoyment out of, that will suck your soul for sure. That will be something that is not rewarding, it is not fulfilling, and it's going to get very, very old very quick. And I think a lot of the top streamers, that's been their approach.
You see a lot of people, they, back in the Screw Attack days, we were definitely, I would say we were us plus like 10%, right? But at a certain point, it is exhausting, right? When you're playing a caricature of yourself, or you're trying to be what you think your audience wants to be. And I really, like, I took offense to this statement here, which was like, he said, you really think it's not true that after you spend 9 hours being investigated by thousands of people with every facial movement, everything you say, every word, with people constantly trying to disagree with you and fight with you, that's not socially draining? That is totally understandable. To that I say, have you not ever worked a double in a restaurant, been on your feet the entire day, having to deal with bratty ass kids and customers who only want their food and it doesn't come out the right way? Then at the end of that double, you're there at 2:30 in the morning marrying ketchup and making sure that your area is swept up. It's like, fuck you. Like that's like totally tone deaf. Like
it's tone deaf. Yeah, relatively speaking, dude, sitting in your chair talking in front of people is a way easier job than what a lot of people are doing. And I get it. It can be a grind, but when most of these guys that have this position, like, they're not editing their own videos. They're not doing it. They got staff and doing, like, it's not much that they're doing. So it is a very, very tone deaf thing. And look, it is the internet. Yeah, people are going to say whatever. Everybody here, right, has dealt with that. You're going to deal with that. And I get it. He's a more popular streamer than probably all of us. So he may deal with it to a higher degree. But relatively speaking, dude, it's easy, man. That you got. Well, now that you're in the position, okay, yeah, it might have been a grind, but he was. I don't even know how he got popular. Like, I know we talk about this trust fund stuff. I don't know if he's ever actually had. Maybe it is a little bit of ignorance, right? Because he doesn't know. Because I don't know if he's ever had a real job. I don't know if he's like a Bernie Sanders type, where he's actually, have you ever worked a real job? Like, and maybe he hasn't, and he's just speaking purely out of fucking ignorance, where he thinks what he does compared to what other people does is just so much more difficult.
That's got to be it, man. It's got to be it. And I really don't know. I think it's the only place that you can really speak like that. What people referencing in the chat, the idea of working in a hospital. I try to break it down to the barest job. The service industry. Like, people who, I think everybody should work in the service industry. Everybody, because there's a lot that you learn there. And this is doing what we do. Every viewer is a miracle. Every cent that is supported is a godsend. And like, I don't understand how anybody cannot be grateful for every second that they're allowed to do what we do. It's crazy. Big Bone, speaking of being grateful, Big Bone came in with a 5, says Cody Wilson is the Defense Disturbed guy who put out 3D printed guns on the internet.
Yeah, got you.
Oh, thank you. Xander, Eric, I can't read very well at all. That's kind of the bit. So, Craig, any good phone typing games? Sad no Gingerbread. Yeah, that's a deep cut right there, Xander. Back in the day, we did an iPhone game that was a typing game, like Typing of the Dead. You remember that game back in the day? We did there was a typing game on the Dreamcast called Typing of the Dead, which was a House of the Dead kind of knockoff. And we did a Texting of the Bread on iPhone, which was like a very similar, just with gingerbread men instead of zombies. It was really stupid. It was great. Critical Orc came in and says, I tried to get Google Gemini to draw a proud orc warrior. It gave me hobbits in orc armor. So asked for gay elves. It gave me Asterix and Obelix. Oh, nice. There you go. Thanks. Appreciate that, Critical Orc theory. And Dwight Power says, the only reason these woke streamers find their job difficult is because they spend all day lying on camera and giving fake
that will be exhausting. 100%.
Being fake on the internet, they'd probably be like,
that will get old
drained.
quick for sure.
Mhm.
All right. Mercenary came in and says the only thing about this AI thing is that the military is secret from what I've been able to gather in the background channels. They have a tech that can determine what is AI and what isn't, and it's like 20 to 50 years ahead of whatever's available. Thanks, Mercenary. Yes, military. We all know that military has the goods before the consumers do. And Kratos came in, says with a $20 direct donation. Kratos, thank you. Been massive today. Says the general grind is hard. Staying motivated and consistent is hard. Setting and meeting goals is hard. Putting in hours every day is hard. But none of this is unique to streaming. And streaming in itself is much easier than a lot of the alternatives. Yes, you nailed it.
That's a good way to put it. Better way to put that for sure.
And the worthy one is going to finish us up with a $5 direct donation. Says y'all should see Abba and Preach's videos when they be roasting the shit out of Hassan Piker every time he say and do something stupid. Abba and Preach, we'll need to check them out. Thank you, worthy one. Appreciate that. Let's get to some memes before we roll. What do we got today, Blabs?
Right. So the first one is "Don't we, Blabs?"
That's right.
And we have this nice
That
screen
was
grab
cool
of
when I saw
Eric
that one.
pondering or scheming, I would say. And then this is Craig pretending to be Molly Weasley, I guess. Not my internet daughter, you bitch. And apparently
right.
I'm not allowed to date. The end.
I will. Yes, very good. All right. Well, hey, listen, I want to thank Eric for coming on today, man. Appreciate you and what you've been doing. Congratulations on your ridiculous growth. And tell everybody once again about RippaSend real quick.
Oh man, appreciate that. And by the way, this has been fun. It's been fantastic. It's been overdue, and I'm glad we can make it happen. But yes, RippaSend is our direct to customer fulfillment, publishing, as well as just general service consulting wing under Riververse Publishing. So we're helping out other creators that need to get a lot of their projects over the finish line. That's kind of who we're targeted here. So you can go to RippaSend.com to get more information on it. We launched it. We've been getting some crazy feedback. A lot of potential people that we're probably going to be working with. It's been amazing. We love that feedback, and really thanks to the audience, because it was the audience's idea. I mean, they kept planting that seed. I mean, for as long as we had been a thing, they kept planting that seed. They're like, hey man, you should go do this for other creators. You got this infrastructure thing down. You should do this. You should do that. And I was like, yeah, but we kept having those internal conversations, and it just made sense. It just made the most sense. It's something that's doable with our current infrastructure, with the warehousing teams that we have. It just makes the most sense. So this is our way to kind of help. And there's a lot of aspiring people. We can handle all types of volume in terms of fulfillment, but there's a lot of people dominant erupts. There's people that have been around that I do think that we're going to be able to assist. So I'm really, really, really excited for this venture.
Well, congratulations, man. Proud of you. Way to keep going and changing the world, man. I love it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, go find Blabs over on YouTube and on Kick, where she looks at hot women or somewhat hot women who dress in scantily clad clothes. It's really weird.
It's called e-thought watching.
Oh, sure, that too. Also, you can find me in a little bit. I'll playing an emulated version of Donkey Kong Country 2 over on the Side Scrollers Plays channel. I'll be playing that today, probably around 2:00 Central Time. So find me over there. Looking forward to it. Appreciate you guys popping in. Have a great rest of your day. And remember, people going to keep you down. People going to try to keep you down. Right, Blabs?
Yeah.
Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Fatality.